Fonts are the next thing people want to know, and Muse is very powerful in terms of what it can do with fonts, but it's also a little bit different to what we're used to. If you remember, we had the Google API fonts that we were loading, and it was the Archivo Black and the name I cannot pronounce and will not even try. These two fonts are not available for us. So unfortunately, if we want to recreate that look and feel of amazing animals that we had here, we're going to have to start from scratch. Well, a little bit from scratch anyway. So when we go into the page, we create a new text field. So we put that text field in. We, type in our text that we want to have in there, highlight it, and then in our text options, we can basically decide how big we want it. Now I can also get to the same options here on the side, so I can still see the text, and then I can start making the text larger. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 55 in here, and then I'm going to decide that I don't actually want to use Arial, I want to use a different font. Now what are my choices? Well, you've got all of these system fonts which are compatible on other computers as well, so Helvetica is there and some other ones. You have your system fonts which aren't available, which will basically be turned into an image. So anything on this computer that will be basically rendered as an image and then embedded into the page. And then you have this option to include some web fonts. So here's a web font previously downloaded. You can use that, and there's some text, and you can have a look at that in the preview. Right. Or you can go and try and add a new web font. Now the web fonts come in three varieties: your typekit font, your edge font, and your self-hosted. You could technically download the Google fonts and then use them as kind of self-hosted ones, but I'm not going to show you that. So I'm going to click Get Started. Typekit fonts come with your Adobe CC registration, so as long as you're paying for that, you will have these fonts. If you stop paying for that, these fonts will no longer work. Whereas the Edge fonts are free fonts that will work whether you have a registration or not. So that's kind of the main difference. The obvious choice if you have the registration is to use Typekit, because you get, I don't want to say better, let's say more mature fonts. Fonts that have been around for longer and have kind of stood the test of time. So if you go through here and you go, okay, well, we can pick through and have a look around for some fonts. I might pick that one, and I'll click OK. That will download that font and make it available in the menu. And then I can go and I can use that font instead of the other one I had. So generally speaking, that's all you really need to do. And then we would have another text box, which was, what was the text on that? Click to explore. Excellent. And we'll put that in. And again, this will just be some subtext that's sitting underneath it. And we might make that, I can't even remember what the size on that one was. We'll make that bigger. And we'll go again to our web fonts. Pick a font like that, include that font, super fast including there, beautiful, and then we can use that font in the ultralight version on our page. So aside from some alignment issues, this is actual text still, it's not an image, and we are getting closer to what we had previously, although I'm actually enjoying this font a little bit more, especially with the whole animals theme, than what we had originally. So I'm probably going to stick with it. Alright, hopefully that gives you an idea of what you can do. Go explore the text tool. Obviously you can go and explore any of these particular aspects of the design by just clicking and double clicking and exploring the context menu that you have at the top. But what we'll do is we'll just slowly go through all these little bits and pieces as you explore how to rebuild these amazing animals website over in Muse. So let us know in the comments below if you're enjoying this and you want us to keep making more Muse videos, or if you just want us to flick back over into Dreamweaver and keep going in there. Cheers.